Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you will stick around if you are a Leo sun, moon, rising / ascendant, and I'm going to say Venus, because we have Scorpio in the sign of Venus, and that's really some passionate stuff. And so are you, Leos. So stay tuned. But I also want to say that what I'm liking to do for those that are new, welcome. My name is Marianne again. I am a psychic intuitive tarot reader. I love to incorporate a lot of different divinations, meaning tools to reach spirit and to use as a, like I say, a conduit. You know, the cards are great because they have messages and I love reading them and I love the looks of them, and I've always been really drawn to tarot. Well, for many, many years, but also it helps me with my psychic abilities and my intuition to where messages come through. So yes, this is for the general Leos, and you can watch if you're not a Leo, of course. It might be your moon, like I said, or rising, and in addition to the sun. So all of those are appropriate. And so what I want to do is I've definitely shuffled these very, very well. This is the deck I've been using. I did transfer over to another one yesterday for Cancer's reading because Spirit just clearly said, nope, we're going with this one today. And I said, okay, because I like to be, you know, we're co-creating, but, you know, I like to be in agreement whenever possible. It's not always that way, so I do it when I can. But I'm using the Pagan Other Worlds deck, and I'm really loving it. I hope that you like it as well, Leos. But the other part of my channel is that I do a daily chakra check, and the chakras, of course, are the different vibrational energy systems in our bodies that are in different areas, and they affect that area as I go along. I explain what that means. We have 7 chakras, actually 8, and I use the chakra portion of my beautiful color intuition deck. And it's just a great, it comes with CDs. It's something I've had for many years. What else can I tell you? By Laura Alden Cam, Kamm or Com, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's something I've used quite a bit because I love color, and well, you can tell today, right? And I love the energy of color. And speaking of energy, you're very, very energetic, Leo. And today's kind of really focusing on that very fact, being as you're ruled by the sun. The sun is the biggest star, in case you didn't know that. I didn't know it until I heard it. In the galaxy, in our universe, there's so many, and we cannot live without the sun. And that sun has so many incredible energetic properties for us. And vitamin D is a natural source, of course. We can get a nice tan when we put on that, you know, suntan lotion. We got to do that. I didn't used to. I'm from that generation of, you know, baby oil, and it's hard to imagine, I know, but we didn't know at the time. So it's important now because it's a different time. But I'm digressing, of course. The sun is it's just so incredibly energizing, and it makes you feel better. I know for myself, as we're now in, you know, the fall in the Northern Hemisphere season, that just happened on the 23rd, you know, just a week and a day or so ago, that, you know, our energy kind of lowers because the light is not as long through the day, right? It gets light a little later or a little earlier at night, and then in the morning it's later to come up. So sun, man, love it. And speaking of sun, today is one of the heat wave days, so I'm feeling good. I've got my hydration with me, and I don't want to overdo it because I was at work and I came here, and I just want to make sure that I get as many October readings out as I can. But it's not all going to happen today, so I just want to put that out there. But you, being the sun, having this incredible energy, meaning you're ruled by the sun, Leo, and just your personality in general. I mean, you're a fire sign, number one, hence the burning of the sun, right? You have incredible energy, incredible stamina. You are the glyph and the animal, the lion. Okay, so there is a very, well, I would say, and I've said this from years past when I was talking about the compatibility, there is a very royal, kind of regal sense to Leos. I mean, they have quite a bit of pride, as do lions, and they are the king, queen, no gender associated, of the forest. They rule the roost that way. So there's a lot of power, a lot of strength, a lot of leadership. They love the attention. They love, being on stage. I have family members that were both Leos and both entertainers, and for their whole lives, basically, pretty much. I mean, from very early on, 3-ish and so forth. And then, I mean, you entertain us, and you're super, super, your heart is just like, you lead with your heart. And I love that so much. So the other portion about you is, as I was saying, your strength and your energy. And that comes from the solar plexus chakra. Okay. And that's why I'm wearing yellow, as well as being the sun gloves today. Because, this is my look. This is my brand. And every day will be a color that's appropriate for the reading. And perhaps even, as I did today, and I've started to do, affiliation with the next topic, which will be the crystal of the day. But we'll get back to the chakras. So yes, you definitely exude the powerful solar plexus energy. And that is our strength and our power and our will and our drive and our stamina. And yeah, we can learn a lot from you, Leos. And so I'm going to pick I have the solar plexus. No, actually, this is the sacral. This would be the solar plexus. Yellow, as I mentioned. And so I'm going to put under here and sort of shuffle just to see which is the chakra that you need to be maybe focusing on for Spirit today, because Spirit is leading us in this question and answer segment. Okay, and I'm just going to do a couple more little shuffles here, and my eyes are closed. I can't see what it is, but there's only 8 anyway, so we're going to pull up. It'll be the first one, and I pulled up the same one, but it's great because, see, it does, I mean, you're more than just the solar plexus aspect. You are an incredibly creative sign as well. And the fire is the part that just gives all these ideas and these inspirations. And this happens to be the solar plexus card. So that's our second chakra. You start with the root, you build your way up to the top of the crown, and then the 8th being, the all-encompassing energy, what connects all of us. And what it says for you, for your second chakra today, is effervescent creativity sparkles from my being. I read this recently for, it might have been Cancer, just yesterday. My life's path is clear and founded in love. Of course it is. You're amorous, you're very amorous. You're very, 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 like I said, heart-centered. Passionate is an understatement, right? Respect. My life's path is clear and founded in love, respect, and adventure. Okay? And that's that powerful energy of yours, wanting to try a lot of new things. You like to be very unique. You like to kind of stand out from the crowd. And as I said, you are a performer. You're the performer of the zodiac. So literally and figuratively, and whatever that means to you, I'm sure you can relate to it. But that leads us to the crystal of the day. And I knew I was going to be reading for Leo, and I thought, well, what yellow crystal is out there? And I know there are some, but I actually don't have that in my possession yet. The closest thing was similar and very close to the sacral chakra we just pulled, and the color is a vibrant kind of like, it looks like an orange, but it could also be relative to the sun, because I don't look at the sun too often, and I usually have sunglasses on. It is, of course, a yellow hue, but it could also have that really bright orange kind of feel to it too. This is a pretty beautiful and not common, I wouldn't say. In fact, the actual crystal aspect of this, which by the way is called the orange calcite, I'm understanding is a little more difficult to come by. It's mainly found in areas like Mexico. I believe I read Canada. I didn't write that part down. But I mean, this is just one of the wonderful wonders of life and the world, that these kind of crystals of all colors and potency and energy are within the earth, and they're utilized in so many ways, and they're used in technology, they've been used in, well, jewels, crystals, in watches, and from way back. I remember my dad having a really cool pocket watch that his father's father, I think, had left him. And that's how that's what makes the mechanism, work so beautifully. So what I will read to you, though, is what the properties are, the energy properties. So right off the bat, it says it increases energy levels. And there you are again. There's your, your momentous and notable energy. When you walk in the room, people are like, whoa, this guy has some, it's contagious, And so you promote creativity, or the stone, I should say, or the crystal does. That's perfect for you. Also known as its ability, and this is my printing, by the way. Couldn't read it. Also known for its ability to heal the urinary tract, spleen, and liver. It can boost one's immune system. I can't speak, forgive me. And circulation. It directly resonates with the solar plexus. There you go. See, so when I saw that, I thought, well, this is just one beautiful, synchronistic culmination of the information for you, Leos, okay? So I hope that was helpful to you and informative, because a lot of people are wanting to know more, and that's going to continue to be the case, because they truly, excuse me, they have so many healing properties to them that I find myself wondering how I ever went without them, because they're with me every day of my life, in my pocket as I do my work. And I feel they're beautiful natural powers. So I'm going to set that aside. And as I said, we're going to be doing the general reading, if you're just tuning in now, for all Leos, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I am using the beautiful deck, which is called the Pagan Other Worlds. It's got really pretty pictures, and it has a really kind of a cool vibe to it, which I said a lot of my decks, and they'll be brought out through time, are very colorful and very bright. And this one is a little more muted as it is, and the colors change for the fall, so it kind of went with that feel when I was looking through them to start October readings. So having shuffled them quite a bit, I will be reading the Celtic Cross, and really that just shows you different positions and parts of your life and the messages coming through for those specifically, okay? So let's get this party started. I'm going to put this in my pocket. It's part of my microphone, which, by the way, I didn't put on. I wonder if you can hear me. I hope so. Hopefully it'll be a little bit clearer with it a little closer. We'll see. People don't even use mics sometimes, but anyway, so the overall energy is always the first card. Kind of how you've been feeling and what, overall energy that's coming through as the center card, all right? So for you, beautiful Leos, for October of 2024, oh my goodness, we have the eclipse happening tomorrow in Libra. We have the full moon October 17th in Aries, which is your fellow fire sign. So that's going to be really, really powerful. And people say it's very strong and this and that and all. I'm putting out to you, it can be an incredibly passionate, wonderful time, culmination, ending of something, but the beginning of the next, because that's how it works, right? When you stop something, something else always begins as long as you're alive. and the transformation of eclipses can be just incredibly magical. So Spirit wanted me to do one more cut there. So for you, your overall energy, I hope, all right, it's strength. It's your card. Thank you, Spirit. You are so incredibly in your energy right now. No surprise. And I will say that prior to coming in to do your reading today, I was obviously thinking about you and kind of channeling and getting some information, a little bit of a meditation, if you will. And, well, first of all, it's number 8. It's the strength card, and it always represents Leo. Okay? And you'll notice there is a lion here. Oh, no, I am so sorry. I hadn't looked at it closely enough. And I hope you can see, okay, with the lighting. It's starting to get a little bit darker, I'm noticing, as sunny as it is out there. This deck shows a bear. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith, which I always refer to, my very first deck, many people's first deck, kind of all the other decks sort of seem to, you know, just be variations on a theme, always having the same meaning behind the card, specific, of course. But this, by the way, is a major arcana, so that says a lot right off the bat. But it's an 8. 8 is, it's power, it's strength, it's the biggest, most abundant number. It's prosperity. It's the strongest you can be, you know. And it's also in 8 years as we, you know, come to the end of it. I feel like a lot of people have been regaining their strength. I feel like you've definitely been a part of us making that happen. We just actually had the moon in your sign. I will tell you that Mars is the planet of, you know, the warrior planet, the fiery, you know, yeah, originally to today, does represent war, but it's not only that, it's just the fiery drive to accomplish and to win, you know, in any case. And that could be different things to different people. Generally, there's a lion, so that's why it's, you know, related to the Leo card. And then there is a woman or man, doesn't matter. And she has her hand in the lion's mouth. Here it's pretty close to the bear's, you know, I mean, she's on the forehead. Either way, it's not something anybody would generally want to do, but letting us know that when we are calm and we are in our full power and that solar plexus area is completely balanced and feeling whole, it is, we just have the strength of a lion or a bear, or the ability to believe in pretty much anything and to succeed in anything. So I love that as the first card. That is a beautiful indication of what this month can bring to you. And maybe I feel as though a lot of you have had to be stronger for some reason. I wanted to say, as I was talking and then was distracted yet again, that I know, because of family members, there are a lot of changes going on for many of us. This is also known, the 8 year, that is going to be the preparatory year for the next 6, 7 coming up. So that can mean so many different things, but the transformation is real, and moving and changing relationships, changing jobs, changing your perspective and, you know, your thought, beliefs, and patterns, things that we grew up with and we think, I don't actually believe that anymore. You know, that's been huge, and myself included. I'm not a Leo. We do all have a placement in Leo. You might want to check and see where yours is. But yeah, just feeling like maybe it had been on a little bit of a decline as far as your strength. And I don't know if it meant your health. I'm not a doctor by any means. I'm just reading the cards and what some of the energies can speak of. It's coming back, okay? And there's a huge heart awakening, all right? And that always helps with our strength, I think, because the heart is a very strong, incredibly resilient muscle in our bodies. So let's move on. I like this already. Good start. So we have the one crossing, which is going to be blessings or blocks. And until I pull the card, I don't usually know. Because either can be, like a blessing can definitely block us from things that we didn't anticipate or maybe have to sacrifice for. And then a block can actually be an absolute blessing, right? I found that to be true anyway. And then we don't always see it at first, but then we realize later. So for you, the card is the Seeker. I'll be darned. Who's the Seeker now? Because this is a different deck. So what would that pertain to? It looks like, gosh, it looks like it could be the Fool. Is it the Fool? Well, look at, there's this incredible full moon that I brought up, and that's going to be the Aries full moon I talked about on the 17th. So there's a real huge emphasis for you in that moon, which I already mentioned. So I don't know what that means, but I feel like it's really beautiful. The Seeker, I'm not able to tell you right now what that would be in another deck just yet, because I don't know if that 8 is an 8 up there. I don't think it is, because this is 8. The infinity is like the forever, just the all-knowing, and just the eternal, you know, life is eternal. It never ends. It just kind of continues to go. And it kind of reminds me of the Fool, because, you know, there's this free feeling of just like almost walking off a cliff, like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to see what life has to bring me, because the Fool is the first card. It's the 0, but it's the first card of the 22 major arcana. But this is another major arcana, though, so that says a lot. What are you seeking? What is something that you've yet to, you know, write or check off your, what do they call it when you have a list? I don't know. I know that you know what I mean. But your bucket list, yeah. Before you leave this beautiful planet, what is it you still want to do? Because that's what's really coming up here. And you're really kind of in a self-evaluative type. Is that a word, evaluative? Because I just made it up. You're kind of doing a self-evaluation, and have been, and really kind of re-establishing for yourself what it is you really want. Because a lot of times things change. We're so sure we want to go to France and see that Eiffel Tower, right? I know I was one of those people. I've yet to do it. But now I feel like the south of France really appeals to me so much more. It's beautiful, and it's scenic, and they have beautiful wineries and lilacs. And yeah, so I mean, I'm not opposed to Paris at all. I would still think it'd be cool, especially if I were in the south of France. You kind of want to see it all, right? But anyway, I'm just saying to you that there's some things that I think are really affecting you with this moon. It's bringing a light to some things you have not yet done, but you absolutely want to, because you know now you've got the strength to do it. And I know that you are a fixed sign, and I know you, when you get on a tangent, you're gonna achieve it, okay? And you're gonna be very, very good at what you do. People do look for you as a leadership kind of influence. So then we go on with the what I call the foundational card, and it pretty much is what solidifies, you know, our life in general. Without a decent foundation, there's going to be some issues, right? There's going to be some changes that need to be made, or they will be made for you. I can promise you that. And it refers to me like the tower. It's about, you know, things falling down and apart because they're not working anymore. There was something about the foundation that made the top topple down, and so forth. So for you, for your foundational card, and something that you've been fundamentally has been a part of you, certainly for now and during this reading, is the Hermit. Okay, well, I did say this. I prefaced this at the beginning. You've been in a phase, I think, this year of really kind of, there were changes, there were maybe more times you've been alone in a long, long time, by choice, not by choice. There were health concerns, perhaps, mental, physical. And the Hermit is wonderful because it allows, I mean, it's the Sage, it's the Virgo card, number 9. You know, not quite the 10 where you start the full new journey and new cycle, but 9 is completion. 9 is definitely spiritual, and 9 is definitely that protection, which I believe the Hermit is. It's our own self-protection. It's our inner guides. It could be a mentor or a person or a doctor or a therapist and all those that are also very visible, very physically a part of your exterior world. And I always like to mention that in the Rider-Waite, oh, it's here too, thankfully. There's a lantern to help us light our way. That maybe something was dark and now we're going to be able to see. And really closely in the Rider-Waite is a star. That's what's lighting this. And there you are again, in my opinion, even though it's not your card. You represent the sun, which is the biggest star. And inside, you know, because of your tenacity and your will and your stubbornness, you don't want to ever give up on the things that give you the most pleasure, and you know, and that would pertain to relationships too. And when it comes to Leo, trust me that when you have your eyes set on something, you, like I said, a woman, a man, a person in a relationship status, that you're gonna do everything you can to spoil and convince and, you know, get that person into your life. So yeah, the Hermit is great. It reminds me of, for now, you've been more of a reclusive, whereas you're normally out in the public more. Many of us have been, though, Leo. So, and that is temporary. I can see that as well. I think we all need those times and the hiatuses, or whatever you want to call it. I had to take one for way longer than I wanted to from this channel, but I knew I'd be back. And that's where you're at now. So you're like, okay, I've learned a lot. I have a whole different perspective on a lot of things, and it's a blessing. And then we're going into the card that is your recent past. Okay, so that is, oh yeah, the Ace of Wands, the fire, the ambition, the sensuality, and the sex. This is known as the sexual card of the zodiac. It kind of makes sense when you look at it, but at the same time, it's that real strong, ambitious part of you coming to the forefront again. And so this has already occurred. So you've found your strength. You know, you want to be that seeker again. You know what you're seeking. You have ideas. You've already got a plan. You've written it out, whatever the case may be. You have had time to really nurture it and be still and hear your intuition and your inner knowing, which is always there for us. And now you've got this wand saying, it's on. It's time to begin. And this new moon eclipse tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday as well, depending on where you're located, is when you write everything down and then you look back in 6 months, because it can be affecting you for as long as 6 months, and you go, wow, I did that. I created that. It worked out. I mean, it's not a one-step kind of thing. It's a process, right? Well, this is fantastic. It's a beautiful reading so far. Let's keep going. Then you have the possible future. And you got the Two of Wands. Oh, God. So, of course, here you are like, yes, I'm making it happen. And next thing you know, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Well, it could be a couple things. It could be you're doing it with someone else. You've decided, I'm going to be with this person who's going to be an amazing partner. Could be romantic, could be work. There's many different ways to have partnerships, and you just feel really good about it. Or you've got two opportunities. You were initially thinking, oh, this is great. And then in pursuing that, you realized, oh my goodness. But then there's that. And by the way, I'm just saying you can do both. I don't recommend that you overdo things. That's not really helpful. And anything more than two would really not make sense, because your energy would be depleted and you wouldn't have the full focus that you want. And whenever you do something, Leo, you want to do it to the best, for the best, because that's your reputation. And that's, you know, that means a lot to you. So that's kind of really all inspiring as well. And by the way, like I said, you can do too. And I'm pretty sure you've done that more than once in your life. Like I said, a little side gig to help, maybe for finances specifically. But the energy and the fire and the just the drive, it's so prevalent right now for you. And we go in cycles. So I really, really love that. By the way, Mars is in Cancer, but it does go into your sign for a small portion of time, I think between, is it the latter part of December and beginning of February? So stay tuned for that. I believe it'll be in retrograde, but it'll still be very introspective, and it'll still have a lot to do with the power that you have and your drive and your determination and your will, because that's what Mars does. It'll have lessened its power, but it'll still be powerful. So let's keep it going now. This is very, very cool, very optimistic, I would say, for the month of October. And you do have, as the next card, this is the possible future. This is the immediate future. Okay, 5 of Cups. Thing about the 5 of Cups is, and this doesn't really show it, is that generally there's a person, Rider-Waite reference again, and there are 3 cups that are spilled in front of him, her, and then there are 2 cups standing up behind. So I think it's kind of self-explanatory. Yes, you're going to have disappointments. First of all, the cups represent the water sign. So there are emotions, and yes, we all have emotions. And they're particularly brought out when you have a trine in water like we do for the month of October, meaning you've got the Scorpio or Venus that's in Scorpio, water sign. We've got Mars in Cancer, and then we have Saturn in Pisces. Saturn being the taskmaster, keeping us on track, keeping us, making sure that we don't lose sight of the big picture, as it were. And then after the little restrictive kind of energy that's a little serious, you get the reward, and it's all worth it tenfold. But anyway, this doesn't show the spilling of the glass or spilling of the milk, for another example. Like, okay, don't cry over spilt milk. Don't be focusing on what you don't have. Easy to do. We all do it to a certain extent. As soon as you start to feel that way, recognize and fully embrace your blessings, okay? Because there's 2, and then those 2 will become 4, and so on and so forth. And it's about filling your cups, maybe making sure you get enough hydration. I don't know what it's like where you're living, but when we do have these heat waves, we really need to overcompensate with hydration, because it just really helps with the health. Side note there, that's one of the messages that comes through. And it's also kind of a known thing for cups as well. You could be involving yourself with somebody with the water sign, not necessarily, but with those attributes. Once again, emotional, sensitive, very empathic, psychic, very in tune, so with the pulse of things. So sometimes it's really nice to speak to somebody and see, if what you're feeling is resonating, or whatever the case may be, partnership-wise and all that, and just making sure that you're being aware of the partnership that you're in. That's always really important, and try to make it as reciprocal as possible. Moving forward, then we're going to do the overall kind of feeling that you have in general as you look upon this reading, or as you're looking into your life as a whole, from the side view, as it were. And you have the 3 of Cups. So, yeah, apparently, the 3 that have been spilled are of no concern to you, because you're celebrating. You have some partying to do. We got this beautiful, see how I told you I love this deck for kind of that fall quality to it. And there they are, the pumpkins for October. There's celebrations. There's Libra birthdays that you're going to, because you and Libra are very compatible. Fire and air have always been extremely great, work together, and can come up with all sorts of wonderful ideas. You instigate that energy and the thoughts that come behind the air signs, and the combination is It's power. It's a lot of power and a lot of success. So that's really nice to see that you kind of have that feeling of been down, getting up again, brushing myself off. I am a Leo, and I'm going to have fun in the process. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to keep a balance, of course. And when, I mentioned hydration, I really didn't mean specifically only liquor. So do you keep that in mind? I was thinking more on the lines of water or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. So then we have your environment. Ooh, okay, here we go. There's the new moon. You notice you can't see anything because it's new and it is an eclipse. So anything you want to aspire to, anything you want to write down and believe, you will achieve, okay? I will always say that. I will always believe it. And it may come in a different form, and I know that, and I understand, and I do tell people that. But when we write down things, and there's something about writing it down, it's that extrasensory, usage. And we fully believe it with the awe-inspiring, energy that you have, along with the energy of this wonderful Libra moon that's about fairness and justice and communication and action and creativity and love and beauty and all the wonderful things that are the positive attributes of Libra. It shall be done, okay? Your environment. It most certainly is the environment. We're all going to be a witness to that. And then we have your hopes and fears card. And that's the Five of Swords. Now, this is not the first time it's come up. I like the Five of Swords versus a lot of the other air. Now, air is always going to be about the mind, the thinking, the talking, the communicating. Great debaters, they're very set on expressing themselves in all different forms. And it looks as though you've had some conflict in some form. And it doesn't even have to have actually happened to you, but you've seen it. I know I'm seeing it. We're all seeing it to a certain extent right now. It's that time where there's going to be a little more agitation than in the last couple of years, I think. But we'll get through it all. And this is one where it's a quick energy and it's passing because the wind, the air is, it's ever moving, right? And it's usually quite quick. Like our thoughts are quick. The clouds, as a reference, they you can look at them and think, oh, look at that shape, and the next thing you know, it's gone. It's already moved away. So remember, when you're feeling a little bit uptight, you have a little bit of a temper sometimes, Leo, with that fiery thing, but you're also very quick to let that go. So that's a good thing. And so just remove yourself from people that you feel are gossipy or there's animosity, and it's not going to go well. Okay. You have intuition very strongly. That's the strongest muscle, is the heart for intuition. You're all about the heart, remember? So, yeah, that would be the hopes and fears. That's the one that you're like, just please give me strength to not lose my temper or get involved in anything that's outside of myself right now. Because you've already done this incredible work, working internally on yourself. And with a lot of the planets going retrograde, certainly by October 11th, most all planets, like every year. And then an extended, Mars, there's the retrograde in that and everything. You want to just kind of chill. You want to have more fun than not. Let's just laugh more. Put on something that makes you laugh. Stay away from the energy that will be around. If you want, you can always attract it to you, but why would you want to do that, right? You're on a way better path than that. And now we have the final outcome, Leo. Wow, you have the moon. Okay, you've gotten some really beautiful, brilliant major arcana with, of course, the eclipse like that. So you have a lot of transformation that's going to come from this eclipse. And we all do have transformation. I can't say what it is, of course. What I can say to you, though, is that Cancer also represents the moon. Cancer and the Mars thing is a part of this. Sensitivity is heightened. So don't always feel at the time of the full moon, certainly in surrounding days, that what has been maybe upsetting or emotional or something that was a loss of some kind don't feel for a moment that that's not going to heal itself. And you could be getting messages through dreams. You could be absolutely, you know, just feeling the rhythms of the moon. I mean, all the cycles affect us. They really do, particularly as a woman. So, you know, there's a lot of women, I'm sure, watching, and I just want you to just feel at peace and enjoy that we have that gift to be able to feel and to sense things like that. Because it's magic is what it is. And although things may not be crystal clear, they will come about. That will come about with Scorpio season. It's all about truth, and that's on the 22nd of October. So all the things will come to light, you know, and I personally love that. I think a lot, and I think you do as well, Leos, because you're very much about the truth. You are absolutely truth seekers as well. So I didn't mention that, but it's very much part of who you are and why I love you. So I'm going to put this end the reading for this, but let me just say that it is amazingly powerful with so much possibility. And also just there's emotion, but emotion can be phenomenal. It feels so good when you really deeply love somebody, or you really deeply love immersing yourself in something that you're passionate about, as I am with this channel. It makes you want to just keep going and going and going, like the Energizer Bunny, right? And I'm going to finish with an oracle message for you. And that's going to be with my Psychic Tarot for the Heart deck, because it is about the heart yet again. And you have a lot of heart. A lot of heart. And so I'm going to just pull out the whole deck. It's got a lot of different parts to it, but I'm only really going to read the main wording on it for you, okay? Because it speaks volumes. And I just really love that you have stopped by, and if you're here still, thank you so much. This literally popped out. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's just, it's the number 3, and 3 is about growth, okay? And that's being established from the ace to the 2 to the, you know, there's a lot of things that indicate the self-awareness, the moon, the seeker. You know, these two are very connected, and I love that they came out together, because the hermit is seeking and it's getting wisdom and knowledge from source, as well as from your higher power and highest power. But you have 3, and that's about collaboration with others and nurture. You need to nurture and absolutely fill yourself with whatever makes you the happiest. And the cheerfulness here is evident. As I said, make sure you take time. Just start getting out a little bit more to, you know, get amongst the people and the people that you feel most comfortable with. And nurture your soul, nurture your heart. That's very much a part of Cancer and the moon, and they're very maternal. You can be a man or a woman and have paternal or maternal instincts. And maybe you're thinking about family. That just came to mind too. So nurture your ideas, nurture your manifestations, and believe in them. It almost looks to me like the crown is the sun as well. So that's all very perfect too. But I hope that you liked it. If you did, please, once again, if you're wanting to help support me, the best way you can is by pushing the like, subscribe, sharing. I mean, commenting is fabulous. All of it is especially helpful, and it's all for free. Just take that moment, and it's very, very appreciated. And once again, very, very helpful to me. So have an amazing October. I would love to have you come back for November. I will be here, okay? And until then, Leo, take good care, okay? Bye for now.